had an opportunity to run this story, and they didn't. We're going to show you this unbelievable film in just a moment. But what's more astonishing, however, might be the cover-up and the secrecy of this top secret film.
For any microbiologists out there, if I'm hatcheting those words, I'm sorry. But this being had only one sexual chromosome.
Captured today when the ocean caught fire in the Gulf of Mexico just west of the Yucatan Peninsula. Those dramatic images of the ocean aflame quickly going viral on social media.
Welcome to High Frequency Chaos. Today, we're going to be diving in to some bizarre TikToks. Aliens, conspiracy. Do you believe in aliens? Do you believe they're here? Do you believe they're coming? What are your thoughts?
There's something they're not telling us that is so gnarly that they don't think people can handle it.
Say these aliens, wherever they're from, made us. That we're a genetic experiment. That they created our religions, our religious figures. That we are an agricultural product. That somehow they harvest us. That our time is limited. You know, that once the experiment's over, poof, we go away. I remember when there was a push back to have an intelligent design universe in the schools. And I wrote a column about it, just said, hey, be careful what you wish for, because you might find out that the intelligent designer isn't God that you're thinking of. It might be some alien science project or something like that. You know, you can imagine a lot of different things that would be really disturbing to people to come out.
If you're gonna go deep, what are your thoughts on this? Do you believe that aliens did exist at one time? Do you believe that they existed centuries ago and that they're still here?
If you're going to go deep in the rabbit hole, there's like the grays that everybody talks about. And there's another thing called the tall whites. The people have described them. They almost look like Scandinavian or something like that, like pale skin. Some alien life is probably, 100,000 years ahead of us, 700,000 years ahead of us, 1,000,000 years ahead of us. But some alien life is probably millions and millions of years ahead of us. They probably don't want to fuck with us anymore. But I bet that intelligence reaches that moment where you can join the intergalactic hive of minds. And the civilization reaches some insane harmony with the very universe itself.
Right.
That's probably where it goes if you don't blow yourself up.
So I definitely believe that there are aliens among us. Do you remember when I kept saying the powers that be? Yes, the powers that be. Aliens are demons, fallen angels.
They look at our planet and they go, okay, they know how to split the atom. Interesting. Oh, they've got weapons. Let me check out the codes on these weapons. We know this because UFOs have showed up at military bases and deactivated nukes in broad daylight, as testified before Congress by actual military officers and nuclear physicists. But they say, okay, well, they've got all these nukes aimed at their own planet while they're still on the planet with no escape hatch. So right there it tells you, they're saying, you know what?
It's so dumb, isn't it?
It's really bad. So they're saying, we're going to just keep looking. We have to just monitor and look at the situation and just keep seeing how long will it be before they wake up. That's what I think is happening. So that's why they don't land on the, in the front yard.
The crazy thing is they hang out on the fringe of being observable.
Yeah.
They don't make themselves, they obviously have the ability to make themselves completely invisible.
Yeah.
But they're choosing not to.
Right.
And we're obviously very aware of it. Even like the New York Times is talking about it. So they're making themselves visible to the extent that we can see, holy shit, these things are so much more advanced than we are.
Right.
But they're not actually like landing and saying, aha, here we are, nice to meet you. They're not saying hello.
Yeah, I think there's a sort of a prime directive that they have.
So I've been following Billy Carlson for a while now. He has a lot of interesting things to say, a lot of things I don't agree with because of my faith. But he's blown my mind in a lot of ways. If you haven't heard of this dude, check him out. Billy Carlson. He has a lot of unique information. And you have to be willing to accept this information too, right? He talks about, the book of Enoch, which I am a big fan of. I believe in the book of Enoch. I believe it should have been a part of the Bible, but it's not. Canonical, non-canonical, powers that be. Who are the powers that be? Maybe it's these aliens. Maybe they're the ones pulling the strings, these demonic entities, and we're just these puppets.
I was told that March 23rd, 1994, that 19 sons pole shifted in our galaxy, and that many are pole shifting all the time. At exactly the same moment that the suns in our galaxy pole shifted, a color and sound frequency started emanating from all the black holes in the known universe. Now, apparently what this sound and color frequency is doing, it is literally creating a holographic density above all others. And on a numerical level, it would be, on our level, it would be considered the 12th. The Andromedans say that there are 11 creational densities in our universe. This is now adding a 12th. And that what it's doing is that it is literally lifting all the dimensions up. 11 is going to 12, 10 to 11, etc. Now they say that all indications are that by December 3rd, in our linear time of the year 2013, third density as we know it will cease to exist. It is now presently imploding on itself as it is being raised to a higher vibration. And that those of us who stick around and go for the ride will be moving through fourth into fifth density. Just like that. And that we will start to see very clear indications of this around the year 2007. Now, apparently the Andromedan Council, which is a group of 139 planetary systems, and I can't tell you exactly how many races because I don't know, has made a decision and has told all of the extraterrestrial influences in our solar system, both benevolent and non-benevolent, and those who are in the middle, to be out of this solar system no later than August 12th, 2003. I don't know how they're going to back it up, but apparently they've decided they're going to. So they want them all out of here. Now, if this happens, and they do leave, you're going to see incredible things. If they do not, I have been told to tell you this, that there's a very high probability that we will wake up one morning or go outside one night and the moon will not be there. It will be towed towards Jupiter. And they will deal with the energies that are there out there. Because if they have to go to battle and the moon gets destroyed, it will destroy most of the Earth because, you know, pieces of it will come here. Plus, it has an energy source inside of itself. Okay, it's a spacecraft. So this is another possibility, and you know, I talked about the tides. I mentioned the tides and more, and they said, "Hey, that's no big deal. We can just get you another one." Apparently, it's no big deal. You know, planetary science is no big deal when you're at that level of technology. Yes, ma'am.
I noticed that the moon had been closer to Earth. What do they say about that? About 2 years ago.
Apparently, it's moving closer all the time. The Andromedans say that it's moving 9 inches closer to us, and we're not being told about anything about it. They also have said that Mars is also moving closer to us as well. That it's moving closer? I don't know what it is. Unless it's disrupt the gravity pull will create earthquakes.
What's 9 inches have to do with 203,000 miles?
I don't know, sir. I don't know. I'm not a scientist. I don't know.
We've got to where people in the back cannot hear these questions.
I'm sorry. I'll repeat the questions when they're said. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, ma'am. Yeah. The question is if the satellites or the moons are artificially created, why do they make the surfaces so rough? Obviously to hide what they are. Other than that, I don't know. Ma'am in the back.
Are the benevolent people more powerful or more of them? I mean, do we really have a chance?
Okay. The question is if there's really a battle between good and evil, are the benevolents more powerful? Do they have more? And do we really have a chance? Oh, gosh. I've been told that if
This is another interesting person to me, Alex Collier. I don't know if you've ever come across his videos on YouTube, but he speaks about Plemidians a lot, and he speaks about technology. He speaks a lot about dimensions, cross dimensions, multiverses, and entities.
The moment I was inaugurated, my hand would just, it'd still be hot from touching the Bible, and I would immediately race to wherever they have the files about Area 51 and the UFOs, and I go through everything to find out what happened.
Right.
Did you do that?
That's why you will not be president. That's the first thing that you would do. The aliens won't let it happen. You reveal all their secrets. They exercise strict control over us.
Now, you know, there are a lot of people that are going to examine your facial expressions here, every twitch, everything, and say, and of course, so did you look? Did you see? Did you explore?
I can't reveal anything.
Oh, really? Because President Clinton said he did go right in, and he did check, and there was nothing.
Well, you know, that's what we're instructed to say.
Okay, first of all, don't let me get started on Obama. I'll leave it there as is. I believe that this guy is a master deceptor. I mean, look at the movie he came out with back in 2023, Leave the World Behind. Yo, this guy is always giving us the dirt. Not the dirt, but the truth. And he does it in such a charismatic manner that you're like, okay, yeah, come for me, aliens. I want you to take me up with you because I'm in love with you, you know, from the way this guy speaks. He's a great speaker, and that's why he was president. If I knew that there were aliens, well, I do know that they're aliens, but if I could confirm the authenticity of that the aliens actually existed and can present it to the public, I would. And that's why I'm doing this podcast right now and this reaction video.
My name is Trey Hudson, and I think we've captured footage of a portal, a gateway or doorway into somewhere or something else. I'm a researcher, and I've always been interested in, you know, things of high strangeness, you know, be it UFOs, cryptids, things like that. I have a team, and my team is made up of engineers, you know, professional people. We've been investigating and researching since 2017. It's a place we call the Meadow. There's a lot of folklore in that area. That region is known for high strangeness. There are numerous reports of paranormal occurrences. So on 11 February 2017, we decided we were going to set up in the Meadow, equipped with thermal and night vision.
Oh, there they are.
We see you. We had clear visibility. We know what our teammates look like on thermal. We're used to seeing them at various distances, so we know what a human being size thing looks like.
Continue heading toward the entrance of the meadow. Just stay right on the edge of the wood line.
So we received a radio transmission from one of our teams on the east end of the meadow, and they said, hey, we have something happening here. You need to come over and check it out.
See the square box? You see the X beside it, or the cross? See the cross forming?
So I got over there, and they said they started seeing on their thermals boxes forming in different places in the meadow.
Halt. You are right on the edge, but it is fading away. It's at least 25 foot tall.
So this was interesting because cubes and boxes are something that you see at other places of high strangeness. It's like a reoccurring theme.
We're recording, sorry.
Right.
The team, when they went to the area where this cube or box was formed, they completely disappeared off our thermal.
I can't see them.
Did they just disappear?
What my team reported when they entered into this area is a temperature drop. Things were chilly, things were cold, and it was very dark and still, like being inside of a black velvet bag or inside of a blackout curtain.
Team 3, what is your location? It's completely faded away now, it's gone.
It's odd because this area, there really wasn't anything that would completely block and obliterate their heat signature. That's just not something that was possible. The wildest explanation is they actually weren't there. They were somewhere else.
All right, there they are.
I think they walked into a portal.
So I think the closest thing that we've come to like real footage of capturing that's not hidden from us is in movies. That's the closest we're gonna get. It's gonna be off of YouTube or TikTok if it's ever, posted anyway. Look at how many videos that has been removed from YouTube, TikTok, IG, Facebook, wherever platform it was. If it showed validity of paranormal activities, especially including aliens, interdimensional travel, and so forth.
Alright, so at the beginning they're talking about the lady seeing something or asking if it's in the tractor or the forklift. I believe it's inside the tractor. You can see two dark shadows with glowy eyes. I'm gonna put it in black and white. Maybe that will help a little bit. Give me 1 second. Right there. You can see right in the center, you can see two dark shadows sitting. This one is gonna blink in a second. You'll see it right there. He blinked. They're both sitting there. They move, but ever so slightly. You can't really notice. And they're just sitting there. I'm not saying they're aliens. I'm not saying that this is a true video, but that is kind of shady. I'm gonna put a picture here with a silhouette in red so you can see what I'm looking at. Let me know what you think in the comments.
All right, I threw this one in there, but for this one, I don't see anything there. It's a bunch of blur. This, I just thought it'd be cool to throw it in there to see what your thoughts are. Do you see anything in this clip that I'm missing? If you do, drop it below in the comments.
Stop. You're going to want to hear this. Somebody was recording a thunderstorm, and I think they might have accidentally caught a mothership on camera. Did y'all just see that? Pay attention to this area in the sky. It's all kind of activities going on. Are y'all seeing this? If y'all know what city this is, comment that down below in the comments. Look at that. Some people are calling them the fallen angels. And then look at the mothership. I have to pause it so we can get a better look. That's definitely a mothership. I told y'all we're gonna start seeing more extraterrestrial activity. Through the whole video, the orbs was coming from this particular area, as if it was home base or the mothership. Y'all let me know what y'all think about them catching the mothership on camera in the comments. Like and follow for more wisdom and stay tuned. Follow me on YouTube if y'all want that exclusive content. And stay tapped in. And by the way, this video is for entertainment purposes only.
I like this kid. If you follow his TikTok, he's very entertaining. He's very charismatic. And he brings up a lot of interesting points. Angles that you wouldn't see things from. And check him out. His links to his gram, TikToks, and I don't think he's on YouTube. I think he's on YouTube. But it's in the end of his clip. But yeah, check him out. He's a totally dope kid. I think he has a lot of insights.
That was a real fucking thing that happened.
Somebody unexpectedly launched a surface-to-air missile and hit the UFO. It fell to Earth not far away and exploded by flaring up with an extremely bright light. At that very instant, 23 soldiers who had watched the phenomenon turned into stone poles. Only 2 soldiers who stood in the shade and were less exposed to the luminous explosion survived. Remains of the UFO and the petrified soldiers were transferred to a secret scientific research institution near Moscow. Specialists assume that a source of energy that is still unknown to Earthlings instantly changed the structure of the soldiers' living organisms, having transformed it into a substance whose molecular composition is no different from that of limestone. This is an extremely menacing case. The aliens possess such weapons and technology that go beyond all our assumptions. They can stand up for themselves if attacked.
I legitimately think that this could happen. It has happened in the past, even centuries ago, with our ancestors, first contacting. And this is nothing new under the sun.
Somebody got some explaining to do, because this movie right here is not child friendly. It's actually way more sinister than we thought. And before I ruin your childhood, I want to say that this video is for entertainment purposes only. Because if you guess this movie, Monsters Inc., then you guess right. Let's get into it. First of all, why is these monsters working at an underground facility in a secret city that the humans are not supposed to know about? I don't mean to say too much. Is this the same thing, right? Kids were extremely toxic to them because they needed the pure essence that the kids had. It could not come in contact with the kids because the kids were too pure. Do I even have to say too much? Can you even go to these facilities that are hidden cities, that are blocked off, that might have to do with extraterrestrials going through the door to get that shit right here, to power their city, right? They trying to steal the essence from the kids to power the city. You were a kid, you were so defenseless that if you were scared as a kid, that you were more scared than you were as an adult. So it was more energy. So that's why they went after the kids in the movie, because they wanted to take as much energy that they could to power their entire hidden underground cities. So the next time your baby said they seen a monster under their bed, you better believe them, because their third eye is open and yours is not. You already know it.
I used to love Monsters Inc. as a kid. I've watched that movie a lot of times. I never saw it at that perspective, but as I got older, movies, music, media, social media, everything in between is a tool that's used by the powers that be, the aliens, the Plemidians, demons, whatever you want to call them, and the governmental systems to keep us aligned, keep our third eye, our pineal gland, dull, so we can't see what's really out there. We're so blind to the facts, and we're so distracted by everything in between, that we no longer think for ourselves, and we no longer want to do the deep dive and research. We rely messages be force-fed to us like we're cattle.
This footage is allegedly a real alien being interviewed in 1997, leaked from military base S4.
The film that you are about to see is jaw-dropping, and it was passed over by the New York Times. The New York Times had an opportunity to run this story, and they didn't. We're going to show you this unbelievable film in just a moment. But what's more astonishing, however, might be the cover-up and the secrecy of this top-secret film. My guest today is Jon Stewart, former candidate for Illinois governor and U.S. Congress. He spent more than 5 years investigating, proving the provenance of this alleged film, this top-secret film, which we're about to show you, and which you are about to see. And it purportedly shows an alien, an extraterrestrial, biological entity being interrogated at the S2 facility in 1997 by members of the U.S. military. Yes, an alien creature being interrogated by members of the U.S. military. And just a few weeks ago, our guest, Jon Stewart, hand-delivered his entire investigation to Congressman Tim Burchett's office, and he's become the first non-government civilian to submit a report to the United States Congress regarding the extraterrestrial phenomenon. Jon, welcome to the show. It's a pleasure to have you here on Redacted.
Like most people back in 1997, this was part of, or this was a a documentary that came out. I go to sit down and watch this documentary thinking alien interview. This is going to be like a weird humanoid looking person handing a clipboard over to a general at the Pentagon for a job interview. I mean, this is how my brain was thinking. And I'm sitting down, and 30 minutes into this documentary, this footage comes on. It's not professionally done. It doesn't have any cuts. There's people in the foreshadow. This gray alien is bone color, bone, like human bone. It's got round eyes, not almond shaped eyes. If I'm hoaxing a video of a gray alien, it's going to be gray, and it's going to have the typical almond eyes. And this bizarre physiological monitor next to the bean that goes up and down and not across the screen. And then Victor, the alleged whistleblower who claimed to have helped smuggle this out of Area 51, that's the way insiders talk of Area 51. And I don't think a 23-year-old screenwriter in 96 could have made up this script that Victor was talking about. I mean, the vernacular he used was bizarre, and he used a term called medical flagging. The creature starts to medically flag. And I asked my old doctor, who was about 65 years old at the time in 97, on my annual checkup, I said, what is medically flagging? He looked at me, he goes, where did you hear that from? That's like a Army medical term we used in the 50s and 60s. I'm like, wait a minute, what is going on here? And then there was some weird, an acronym on the bottom, DNI, David November Igloo /27. And Victor tells us that was the Department of Naval Intelligence. So I run for Congress 2 years later with this film in the back of my mind going, what is going on here? And I don't want to say his name anymore because I'm getting admonished for doing so, but I was on a political bus tour, and I went up to a senator during a break, and who has passed away now. And I said, Senator, what is the Department of Naval Intelligence? And Clayton, you look in my eyes. This guy went from jovial, happy senator to this aggressive look. And he looked at me, he goes, you don't need to know anything about that. And he stormed off, and he never talked to me the rest of the tour. Clayton, you're a journalist. You're an investigative reporter, too. I'm thinking, wait a minute. I got a hoaxed video with medical terminology from 50s and 60s. I've got a gray alien that's tan and round eyes, medical staff that are in short sleeve scrubs and not in biohazard suits to really hype up the video. I've got a monitor that I have never seen in 35 years of my life back then. And I've got 3 letters on this hoaxed video that has just pissed off a United States senator. What in God's name is going on with this film?
So here it is. This is, again, it's silence. There's no audio on this. What are we looking at here as we play this film? What are we seeing on our screen, John?
Okay. Contrary to Victor's voiceover, this is a film shot April of 1991, a thought projection interview of a other gray, designated an other gray, an extraterrestrial biological entity. He is a haploid, which means he came with only one sexual chromosome. Human beings are diploids. For any microbiologists out there, if I'm hatcheting those words, I'm sorry. But this being had only one sexual chromosome. He came to the S2 alpha, the official designation of the underground facility that housed the alien interrogation and retention program. That's the unofficial name of what this was. They call these interview suites the ambassador suites because the government did try for the care and did treat these and look at these beings, and still do, as ambassadors from other planets and other dimensions. And if you hear David Grush coughing on his words, it's because he doesn't want to tell you that some of these beings are from other dimensions. And so this being was very ill at the time. He had a respiratory issue. Now, Sean David Morton also heard, I can't verify this veracity, that it had some sort of debilitation or disease with its heart-lung sac. It does not have a traditional heart. It's got a heart-lung one sac, which was the need for the special monitor, which goes up and down, does not go across, to monitor this bizarre heart-lung one sac organ that the alien has. And behind the viewing glass were 5 men, 2 telepaths. There is a researcher out there But that's how bizarre this film has gotten. And I'm not even going to tell you anything about the telepaths because I don't want it to get into the Da Vinci Code. But even Doty said that the telepathic program, the people they hired, was ridiculous. They were like one step above 1-800 psychics back in the 80s and 90s. But there was two men in particular that were very in touch with these beings, and they would sit down with these aliens and these beings and immediately get information and relate it back to whatever military person was in the room. As you can see on the tape, the being eventually starts to medically flag, if I can use the whistleblower Victor's terminology, and he is then attended to by the medical staff. And Victor tells us that the medical staff in S2 and S4, are more chosen for their ability to keep secrets than their medical knowledge. And again, I have been in contact. I have the names of the two doctors that are going to be on either side of this beam. On the bottom, you're going to see DNI/27. That is the Department of Naval Intelligence. According to Richard Doty, there's like a conga line of different agencies waiting to insert their questions to this beam in the 2-hour-long interview. The interviews are conducted about once a month.
What did you start to piece together from people who were in the room? And so when we say hoaxed video, I think you're saying that was what the assumption you had going into this, that this was hoax. That was sort of the media speculation about this. Now you've proven and taken it to the United States Congress, which, by the way, they're about to hold a hearing on this next week. And I think that this is, if I'm not mistaken, is going to be a big piece of this. And other whistleblowers are now confirmed to be coming forward to Congress next week, civilian whistleblowers who are going to be testifying of the things that they've been a part of and seen.
Like Linda Moulton Howell told me when she saw the list, you have gold here. Why? No one has ever heard of these people before. And like Linda said, and these people are on Google and are real. And I said, yeah, they are. And she said, son, you got gold here. And so I got the list of names, but I know investigative journalism. That wasn't just enough just to have the names. I mean, come on, that's ridiculous. So I started to vet every single person on the list. The first person was retired, working for TRW, and TRW. These are the men, by the way, who were behind the glass in the viewing gallery watching this thought projection interview. That's what it's called. It's not telepathy. It's actually called thought projection. And the first one worked for TRW. And I said, well, this is a hoax. He wasn't even in the military. Sean David Morton, who was in the office of the production company, who first got the call from Victor saying, I've got this VHS tape of an alien, said, no. TRW is like hand in hand with the government. They do every kind of secret project and whatnot. I said, wow. And Doty said that it was not filmed in S4. There are no alien housing there. The alien housing is in S2 Alpha. And I'm like, what's S2 Alpha? She sent me a satellite photo of it and said, that's what it is. It's called the Alien Retention Program. This being was brought in on a part of Project Pounce. Doty's like, I don't know the provenance of the being, but I think it was from the Kalahari crash where 2 beings were recovered. But the alien program, whether that be the retention, the interrogation, the biological reverse engineering of craft, that all is now taking place at Michael's Airfield at the Dugway Proving Grounds. The program to interview the beings in S2 was called Project Aquarius, which was basically all things about aliens in contact with human beings. And that is from the email, and that is also from Richard Doty's mouth, who is verified as the counterintelligence agent, who is in his 70s and wants to tell the story, the truth of what's going on and what the government is covering up.
All right, after seeing this one, it was kind of creepy. I guess because the way it looks like a balloon head, and it could be false. This video could be false. But shit, anything can be false, right? We have to use our own discernment to decipher what's true. Our feelings, our energies, our chakras, our emotional intelligence, and our ability to be self-aware of our surroundings. We can't just be in this echo chamber, which Kerry says a lot. Kerry, if you're watching this, you will love that. We can't be stuck in the echo chamber. We have to explore other ideals and see how they correlate with our overall understanding.
Video captured today when the ocean caught fire in the Gulf of Mexico just west of the Yucatan Peninsula. Those dramatic images of the ocean aflame quickly going viral on social media. Some people calling it an eye of fire, while others said it looked like the portal to hell opening up. The portal to hell opening up. Pemex, the Mexican state-run oil company, says an underground natural gas pipeline sprung a leak that caused that mid-ocean fire. A number of firefighting boats pumped water onto the fire for nearly 5 hours until it was eventually extinguished. They put out a fire on the ocean, an oil platform nearby.
All right, everyone, thank you for staying with me to watch all these clips and to have this reaction time together. Stay tuned for another episode of the HFC podcast. We have a lot more coming this season. We love you guys. Stay blessed. Stay safe in these dark and crazy times. HFC is out. Peace.